As you already know that we will study the digestive system only, and this is the third session of digestive system. We have already studied a lot of it about the digestive system in the first two sessions, right? So before moving to the topic, let us see what Swiflearn is. Swiflearn is the India's most sincere learning destination from classes 1 to 10. As you already know, all the classes over here are live and interactive classes. Okay. Hi Rashi, how are you? Okay. So over here in the regular classes, you can ask any sort of question to your teacher, and the teacher will explain everything, all the concept in the classes only to you. Fine. Now, secondly, the very important thing is we give personalized attention to each of the students in our batches. That is why it is different from other platform. How? And why? Because six students are maximum there in each of the batches. The batches may be of one student or two student, or maximum six students will be there, and this will help the student to ask any sort of doubt. They can clear all the different types of doubt, as well as we can also give personalized attention. We can keep an eye on the progress of the students. This is very important. Thirdly, we have a very good dedicated academic mentor team who continuously track how the students are going on, how it is what is the progress of the student, in which topic they are lagging, which topic they need more attention. All of the things are basically tracked by our academic mentor team, and accordingly you will get the feedback, and that feedback will help you to what, to improve, right? Yes, very nice. Yes, Rashi, I'm fine, beta. Okay. Great. And the fourth thing, let me tell you, this is the very important, that before going to the school examination, you have to be very much prepared for all the different subjects, right? So we cover the syllabus as per your school examination schedule. If there are any chapters or topics which are coming in your school examination, but we have not done it yet, you can tell us and we will do those first, and then we will move on to the rest of the topic, right? So this type of custom request generally we handle. So these are basically the different general features of Swiflearn. Now let us see what are our key features. Fine. So what makes this Swiflearn different from other platform? The very first thing is we maintain a progress report of all the students. Okay, like each and every students will get their progress report, and according to that the PTM will also be happened, right? जैसे आपके स्कूल में भी पीटीएम होता है, स्विफ्टलर्न में भी पीटीएम होगा, and the parent can ask any sort of doubt. We will solve all the different doubts. If you are lagging anywhere, we will give you the tips how to improve, right? So this discussion will be done mutually in the classes only, and PTM will be there after 3-4 months alternatively. Fine. Now coming to the second thing that is very important, which is Swiflearn's academic test series, that is which we call in short as the SATs. You can perform over there and you will be able to understand what is your rank all over India. This happens every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Okay. Yes, Amit, definitely tissue also I will teach. Tissue actually class 6th tissue is already done, and class ninth CBSE tissue is also done. Okay, so tissue we have already done it. Definitely whenever it will come, we will again do it in the ICSE syllabus. Fine. Now coming to the practice test, we have a lot of different practice test series. You, after completing each and every topic, you can practice the question answer over there, right? So what type of question answer will come? Both the subjective and objective. The objective question में आएगा MCQ, filling the blanks, true, false, select the odd one out. These are the different questions which you get in ICSE board, right? The board exam as well as the school exam. So this type of question will be there in objective, as well as the subjective test is also there. This is very important because most of the time what happens that you already know the concept, but you cannot understand what to include within the subjective answers, right? Whenever the question contains 3 to 5 marks, so where the diagram is necessary, where to include the different chemical equations, these are very important to know, and we will give you the tips. We have a group of teacher who will continuously check your assessments and the subjective answers. Definitely they will give you the tips how to write the answer, where to include the different keywords, and this will help you not to lose any marks in the board exam as well as the school exam, right? Okay, yes, Amit, very nice. Yeah, I will also definitely give you the tips of cracking the ICSE biology. Yes, definitely I will tell you what to do. for getting the full marks. Okay. Okay, chalo. So in between of this session, I will give it to you. Okay, I will give the tips. Okay, how to write the answer and what to include the diagram and all. Okay, and also definitely let me remind you another thing for biology. Always keep it in mind that presentation is very important. Okay, the presentation is very important. How you are presenting your answer, like just a very simple introduction in one line and a conclusion in one line is very important, and the body will contain whatever keywords which is needed for the answer. This is very important for subjective question. I'm not talking about objective. Objective mein to you will give the direct answer, but subjective mein these tips are very much important. Whenever the question is of 5 marks, and you can include any diagram, give a very rough sketch and just label the main parts. Not like that the diagram which you will provide will be a beautiful picture, not necessarily. The diagram must be there where the different parts will be observed, and it will be like a diagram, and people will be able to understand that whether it is a tree or a plant or an animal part. That's all. Okay, and the labeling is also very important. I will also tell you about the time management. Okay, I'm getting a lot of question and doubt. Definitely I'll solve all those things. Okay, so come back to the features. I have already mentioned what are the key features. So to experience all these features, what do you have to do? You have to book a free trial class over here. The free all the trial classes are free of cost. Experience the trial class and you will be able to understand how our regular classes are also going on. It is totally interactive and admission is also going on. So book a free trial class and enroll with us. So whoever has not subscribed our channel till now, please subscribe it just now and press the bell icon, otherwise you will forget later on. Okay, subscribe it and press the bell icon, and this will help you to get the notification of all the upcoming sessions. Okay, so you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming session. So stay with us and learn with us, and do not forget to like, comment and share. Chalo. So let us begin with today's topic. I have already mentioned that today we will basically revise whatever we have already studied in the previous session, that is the digestive system. So digestive system, the parts of the digestive system, alimentary canal, as well as the different rows of the different parts of the digestive system we have already covered, right? How, what are the different enzymes which are secreted from the different organs, how they are helping in digestion of the different food, we have already completed with those things in the previous session. Okay, so if you do not remember, please you can also refer to the previous session. ठीक है ना? So we will also revise it today. Fine, so we will go a little bit faster in this revision part. So today mainly we will learn about the large intestine. Okay, so what is happening within the large intestine and the small intestine? Basically you already know that the absorption of food takes place within the small intestine, right? Because of the presence of villi. This much amount though you have already studied in previous grades, right? In 6th and 7th. So we will study a lot about it in detail. Then we will study about the control of the digestive processes, how, what is the, how it is controlled within our body, because it is not on our control. We will say that yes, the pizza in my tummy, please, you will digest now. Okay, you will be digested now. I cannot, we cannot control over it, right? So we have the other different systems within our body which will help in the controlling of this digestion. So we will see how it happens. Then we will move on to how the absorption takes place within the small intestine. Then we will move on to the function of the liver. Then we will move on to the assimilation. So after the food is absorbed within the blood vessels, then where the food is going, the food is going to all the different parts of our body, right? It is going to all the different organs. Now after going to the organs, what is the need of the food, how it is utilized? We will study this utilization of the food for the synthesizing of the different types of body parts, the different cellular organelles and molecules. We will study this in assimilation. Then we will study about the we will just revise about the mechanism of the digestion. So these are the different parts which today we will cover in this session. So stay till the end with me, and whenever I will ask you question, please give me the answer. And as you already know, whoever will give me the most of the answer correctly, and most of the answer, whether it is correct or not, I will definitely correct you if the answer is incorrect. He or she will be the student of the session, and his or her name I will write it on the screen at the end of the session. Chalo. So let us discuss with the question answer. So let me see who can give me the first answer correctly. Which acid is present inside the stomach which helps in the digestion of food, and what is the pH? Yes. Which acid is present within the stomach? Let me see who can give me the correct answer. Which acid is present within the stomach? Yes. Yes, Amit. Yes, Rashi. Will you be able to answer, beta? Yes. What is the acid which is secreted within the stomach? Very nice. Very good, Amit. Yes, it is HCl. Great. And what is the pH? Yes, what is the pH? Power of hydrogen of that acid within our stomach. Any idea? Okay, it basically varies from 3.4 to 3.7. Okay, yes. Okay, chalo. Let's move on to the next question. Yes, which components are responsible for the green color of the bile? We have already studied it in the previous session. Remember, the bile is secreted from the liver, it is stored within the gallbladder, and then it is poured into the duodenum part of the small intestine, right? And this bile juice helps in the digestion of fat. We have already mentioned all these points, right? So it is a little bit greenish color, right? So what is the pigment? What are the pigments rather which are present within the bile, which which gives it a greenish yellow color or yellowish green color? Yes, do you remember? Let me help you. It starts with B. Both the pigment starts with B. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It is bilirubin and biliverdin. Okay, please note it down. Whoever has already missed the previous session, please write it down. Bilirubin and biliverdin are the pigment which are present within the bile juice, which gives them a green color. Now coming to very good biliverdin, Amit, and bilirubin also. Okay, which increases during the jaundice. If any person basically suffer from jaundice, the bilirubin quantity becomes high. Okay, that is why it gives a yellowish color to the skin, to the eyes also. ठीक है ना? Very nice. Okay. Now coming to the third question, the rhythmic movement that allows the food to move through the esophagus. So not only esophagus, it goes to the esophagus, then up to stomach, it will go move. That rhythmic movement, that is contraction and relaxation, will help to move the food within the small intestine also. Then it will move on to the large intestine, the undigested food, and from the large intestine also it will move out of our body. So continuous this contraction and relaxation rhythmic movement will take place. Okay, so can you tell me what is that movement known as? Yes, the contraction and relaxation movement is known as the peristalsis. Okay, so this movement is known as the peristalsis, which starts in the esophagus, that is the food pipe, which will help the food to move in one direction. Okay, now move on to the fourth question. If we have acid inside the stomach, which aids in digestion, then how come that the stomach will not get damaged? Yes, what is actually present and different type of thing which is secreted also from the spacious cells of the stomach within it. Very good, Amit. Yes, it is peristalsis. Okay, great. So what will help the acid to remain in the stomach and do its function, but the wall of the stomach will not get damaged? What is that? Yes, this is also secreted from the stomach. We have already mentioned in the previous session that the three main things are secreted, right? Very good, Amit. Again, the correct answer, that is mucus. Okay, so HCl, mucus, and the different enzymes. These are the three main things which are present within the stomach, which helps in the process of digestion. Really great. So this mucus will help in protecting the wall of the stomach even if the acid is present over there, and this will help to protect the inner lining of the stomach. It will not allow the stomach to get damaged. Clear, Hannah, up to this much? Yes. Okay, now let's move on to the today's topic. We have already recalled the different question answers, right? And hopefully you have already subscribed our channel. If not, please subscribe it and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update, and do not forget to like, comment and share. Chalo. So my first question, not my first question. This is the very common question when it always pop up in your head that why do we need to like study this all these things like how food is digested, then whether we are taking the food, when the food is digested also where it is going, and even if the food is not digested, why we have to throw it out from our body? What is the need for to poop? Yeah, any idea? So you go to the gym, and in the body, besides exercising and all, diet is also very important, right? So when you eat the pizza or burger or ice cream, whatever you like to eat, right? So do you think that it is already absorbed by the body, or it just harms the body all the time? Yes, all the time it is harming, or it is also absorbed by the body? It is also absorbed by the body, right? And it is stored within our body. It as a fat, and it also causes the obesity in extreme cases, right? Exactly. Now let us move on to the large intestine. So previously we have already studied about how the different digestion processes takes place till the small intestine. We have studied in the previous session, right? So in the large intestine, let us see what will happen. So the large intestine is a long muscular tube which is present over here, and the small intestine is present inside it. Okay. Yes. So the large intestine basically is divided into three main parts, that is cecum, then colon, and the rectum. I will show you the different parts separately. Okay. Then the waste, whatever food we are taking in, it is partially digested within the stomach. Then it is fully digested within the small intestine. And finally, the undigested food particles will move on to the large intestine. Fine. So it will move on to the large intestine, and from the large intestine also it will go up, then transverse colon, then the descending colon. It will move due to the continuous peristaltic movement, that is the contraction and relaxation. Clear, Hannah? Yes, Amit, you have a doubt? Please tell me. Please ask me, beta. Yes. So it absorbs the water and consists of the bacteria. So what happens? It absorbs the water. Okay. And some bacteria is present, which are the symbiotic bacteria. They will help them to break down the waste materials and to produce the small, very small nutrients, which can again be absorbed. Okay. So very little amount of water and salts can be absorbed over here, but most of the absorption will take place in the small intestine only. Clear hai? Now we will study about the three main parts of the large intestine. So this part, the lowermost part where the small intestine is coming and joining with the large intestine, yes, this part is known as the cecum. I'm showing you the four different parts. So, okay, so this portion is known as the cecum. Just after it, when it is ascending upward, the food is ascending upward. This portion is known as the ascending colon. Okay, this is a part of the colon. This is known as ascending colon. Okay, then the food will move in this direction, and this part is known as the transverse colon. Okay, then the food will move in downward, and this part is known as the descending colon. Yes, definitely. Yes, it's a very nice doubt you have raised this question. That is, you have heard that small intestine is big. Big means lengthwise. Okay, if you just stretch the small intestine, which is very much coiled and stay over there, if you stretch it like 7 meters of length, you can find. But large intestine is given to its name not due to the length. The length is shorter. Okay, the length of the large intestine is shorter. Very nice question you have raised. But the width or the breadth we can say of the large intestine is a little bit bigger, or yeah, bigger than that of the small intestine, and that is why the name given to it as the large intestine. Clear, Hannah beta? Yes. Nice question. Okay, just after the descending colon, this portion, when the food is moving like this in S-shaped structure, this is known as the sigmoid colon. Okay, and so you already know that the last portion where the food is stored for some time is known as the rectum, and the undigested food will move on through the opening which is known as the anus. Okay, yes. Got it, Namit? Okay, chalo. So this is the whole, these are the different parts of the large intestine. Up to this much clear here? Now the cecum, it is what? You can see over here, it is a small sac-like structure present at the beginning of the large intestine when the small intestine is ending and the large intestine is beginning. Right? Then the colon can be divided into four main parts: ascending, descending, sigmoid, and transverse. Sorry, I have already mentioned what I've already shown you in this diagram that this is the ascending colon, the food is going upward, then the transverse colon, food is going horizontally, then is the descending colon, food is going downward, and finally this one is the sigmoid colon, the food is just going like this in a U shape, and finally it will reach to the rectum and it will be stored temporarily and it will move out of our body through the anus. Up to this much clear hai? Yes, so the anus is the opening of the rectum. Clear hai up to this much? Yes. Any question now? Okay, now let's see the 3D structure of the small intestine and large intestine. Yes, it's a beautiful 3D. You can see over here. Number one. Can you tell me which one is the number one? Number one is the small intestine. Fine. This is the small intestine. Now over here you can see that the small intestine is highly coiled, okay, and the length is bigger than that of this large intestine. And what will happen? See, whenever the small intestine is attaching with the large intestine, this sac-like structure is known as cecum. Fine. Then after cecum, what is starting over here is the ascending colon. Means the food will go upward. Okay. The undigested food will go upward. Then is the transverse colon. It will go horizontally. Fine. Then if I just show over here, this one is the descending colon. Matlab the food will move downward. Now after going downward, where will it go? It will go and it will be stored in the rectum. So the fourth one is the rectum. Temporarily the undigested food will be stored, and finally it will go out through the opening which is known as anus. ठीक है ना? This is the opening of the rectum which is known as the anus. So this is all about the large intestine and small intestine. You can see the position, how the structure. This is the backward. Okay, this is the backward structure, and from front you will see it will look like this. Okay, up to this much clear है ना? Yes. Okay, let's move on to the slides then. Now We will study now about the digestion in the large intestine. How the digestion takes place. Basically, nothing digestion will takes place, but some different types of things will be absorbed over here. Right. So first of all, always remember in the large intestine, bacterial action will take place. Okay. So whatever leftover food will be there, the bacteria will act on it and it will be converted into some essential nutrients. Clear hai? Second thing is whatever essential minerals and water molecules, or you can say certain drugs are there, it will be further absorbed by the large intestine. It will be absorbed by the blood basically from the large intestine. Clear? Next is the mucus secreted by the large intestine helps in holding the waste materials and keep it a little bit moistened and lubricated. Okay, it will not allow the like the undigested food particles to become very much dry. Then what will happen if it becomes very much dry? It will be very much difficult for us to move it out of our body or remove it out of our body, and it may lead to the different diseases or symptoms like constipation, right? So what will happen, the mucus which is secreted over there will help to moisten the undigested food and help it in a to keep it in a lubricated way. Okay, in a lubricated form, and any undigested particles or unabsorbed particles will go out of the rectum. It will be stored a little bit, pass through the rectum, and finally it will be eliminated out or go out of the body through the anus. This though we already know, right? Now, do you have any idea like how this digestive system is controlled in our body? As I have already mentioned this question, that do you think that we just call out up our the name of the food and tell them to now you will get digested, yes, the pizza now you will get digested, or now the biryani you will get digested now, or the ice cream you will get digested now? Do you think that we call it by name and do it on ourselves, or it is totally on our control? What do you think? Huh? It is not on our control, है ना? It is totally involuntarily happening within our body on its own, right? So somebody will have the control over it, है ना? तो कौन control करते हैं इसको? Yeah? Any idea? The hormones and the nerves. So the hormonal system or the endocrine system and the nervous system, these are the two coordinating system, or which basically helps in the control and coordination of all the different activities of our body, and this will help our body like to digest also the different food, and they also help in coordination of the digestive process. So first of all, as you already know that the hormones are the chemical messengers, right? They are secreted from the different glands and they will move on to the different organs of the body which are known as the target organs, and finally it will do its own acting. Now, hormones control the different digestion process by signaling the body at appropriate time whenever it is needed. Whenever the digestive juices are needed to secrete, the hormone will tell them to now you have food in your belly, please secrete some digestive juice, it is needed to be digested, and then only the digestive juice will come out. Okay, so it is totally happening due to the signal which is given by the different hormone. Clear hai na this idea? Yes. Now they also sell the signal to the brain. Yeah, that now you need food, you are hungry. Or now it's totally fine, your stomach is totally full, don't eat that much. Okay, it's totally full. Okay. So you sometimes say that say to your mama, now no, I'm not hungry, now I will not eat. Or sometimes you say I'm totally full, don't make me eat that much, right? So how it is happening, how you were telling to your mama or anybody else? Yes, because your brain is giving you the signal ki your stomach is totally full, or no, the stomach needs food. right? Your body needs food. Yes, this feeling will happen due to the processing of this feeling in the brain. Fine, and accordingly you will act, and the body will the food will get digested within our body. So the nervous system through the brain and spinal cord controls this digestive process. Now, is there any doubt? Yes, yes. If you have any doubt, please ask me, beta. I'm always there for you. Yes, Amit, please write it in the chat box. Okay, chalo. So from till this much, I guess you have already understood that the nervous system and the system will have a control on the digestion of the food. After having to our food, we are told not to drink water. Why? Yes, very good question. uh, After having the food is going to the stomach, right? Whenever you are swallowing, it is going to the esophagus and storing in the stomach, and the digestion takes place. Now, whenever you are eating water just after taking the food, that digestive the system, the secretion of the different enzymes and all will be a little bit slower. That is why you are suggested to definitely drink water after 20 minutes or half an hour. Okay, so just after uh, mm, uh, just not after taking the food within 5 minutes or 10 minutes, have your water, drink water after 15 to 20 minutes or half an hour. This will help in the digestive system to work properly within your body. Okay, your food will be digested properly within your body. Clear hai na beta? Okay, now let us revise whatever we have already studied in the previous session. That mouth, we know that mouth में क्या होता है? Chewing होता है. We chew it and mix the food with the saliva. And finally, what is digested over here? The starch. Starch is digested because the saliva basically contain one type of enzyme which is known as ptyalin or salivary amylase. ठीक है? That helps in digestion of starch. Next is the esophagus. Now in the food pipe, the esophagus, no digestion takes place. Okay, no digestive juices secreted, no digestion will take place. Just what will happen? The peristaltic movement will help the food to go downward. Okay, the rhythmic contraction and relaxation is the peristaltic movement. Then the stomach. Stomach में क्या होगा? The food will be going over there and churning of the food will take place. That is a semi-fluid like structure will take place because of the presence of the different types of things like the different digestive enzymes, the acids and all. And definitely it will help in the digestion of mainly the protein. Fine, here main things are written over here, this chart. Okay, this chart is very important and you can also write down this chart. This chart form will help you to remember all the concepts better. Next is the small intestine. Intestine is also the long tube through which the food will move like peristalsis in the same way. And digestive juices and the different pancreatic juices which is secreted from the pancreas, they will all pour it into the small intestine. The liver which will secrete the bile, it will also be poured into the small intestine. And finally, the total digestion will take place in the small intestine. So what are the things which will be digested? Carbohydrate, protein and fat. Okay, so pancreatic juice will help in the digestion of the carbohydrate, protein and fat. And liver, which will secrete the bile, this bile juice will help in the emulsification of the fat. That means the fat will be broken down into fatty acids and glycerol. Clear? So what do you mean by emulsification of fat is also a very important question. For 1 mark you can get. That is nothing, just the fat is broken down into fatty acid and glycerol is known as the emulsification of fat. Basically it happens by bile juice. Then the large intestine, again peristalsis will happen, but digestive juices will not be secreted. Bacterial action will be there in on the food particles in the large intestine. So this is all about how digestion takes place in the different organs of the alimentary canal. Fine. Now let us revise the whole thing, whatever we have studied about the digestion. So the beginning of the digestion, it starts in the oral cavity. It is the mouth. So mouth mein kya hai? The food is taken in the mouth and the teeth is there, tongue is there. The tongue will help to just mix the food with the saliva and the teeth will help to break down the food into smaller pieces. Within the saliva, water present, the lysozyme and amylase. Salivary amylase, which is also known as the ptyalin, 30% of the hydrolysis of the starch will take place over here. And lysozyme will help in preventing the infection due to it has some antibacterial action and it will prevent our body from any sort of infection. So what will happen within our oral cavity? Chewing. Saliva will mix up the food. The food will become a bolus, a semi-solid like thing, and it will move through the, it will be swallowed and it will move through the esophagus by the peristaltic movement. So the starch salivary amylase will help in the formation of the maltose. Fine. It will help to digest the starch. Next is the stomach. Stomach में क्या है? Mucus है, the different cells है which will secrete the different enzymes, and finally HCl है. We already know HCl is secreted from the parietal cells or the oxyntic cells, right? Now food will mix over here with the digestive juice and gastric juice, and churning will take place. After churning क्या होगा? Semi liquid, a pulpy food will be formed, that is known as chyme. Always remember what is chyme. It is the semi digested food which is prepared within the stomach. Fine. Now coming to the different things, the actions which we have already studied in the previous session, that is HCl will give a acidic medium, and this HCl will basically activate the different inactive enzymes. Jaise pepsinogen is the proenzyme that is inactivated, so it will be activated to pepsin, and prorenin will be activated or converted into renin. Okay, these are the different things which are done by HCl. Now further the pepsin will help in the breakdown of the protein to peptones and proteoses. This we already mentioned in the previous session. And finally the casein is also there, that is a milk protein which will help in conversion of the peptides by the renin. Okay, so these are the different things which will take place within the stomach. Let's move on to the small intestine now. So small intestine में क्या होता है? We already know it has the three main parts: duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. The chyme is further mixed and churned, and the pancreas, liver, whatever juice they secrete, they all pour it into the small intestine, the bile juice and the pancreatic juice, and finally the digestion of carbohydrate, protein, and fat will take place within the small intestine. Like the pancreatic juice will break down the carbohydrate and protein. Intestinal juice will help to break down the carbohydrate and protein. Bile will help in breaking down the fat molecules, and pancreatic lipase also helps in the conversion of the triglyceride, another form of the fat, to fatty acid and glycerol. Fine. So these are the four digestive actions which will take place within the small intestine. Now, after the small intestine, what will happen? The undigested food will go to the large intestine. Within the large intestine, kya hoga? The bacteria acts on the leftover food and food particles, and the absorption of a little bit amount of water and certain drugs are there which will be absorbed by our body, and it will secrete the mucus which will help to make the waste materials to be moistened. Okay, and the undigested and unabsorbed food will be moving out of the body through the anus in the form of feces, right? It will go out of the body through the anus. So this is all what will happen within the large intestine. Now what will happen due to the presence of the villi? You have already studied about the villi. Villi are the finger like projections which are present in the inner surface of the small intestine. Fine. Innumerable villi are there, and these finger like projections are also known as the microvilli. It is present in the inner wall of the small intestine. तो इसका काम क्या है? These are basically present over there to increase the surface area. ठीक है, तो मान लो कि ये एक surface area है, if it is the plain tube of small intestine, and this is another tube of small intestine having the villi like this. Okay, तो किसका surface area सबसे ज्यादा है? What do you think that the food will be absorbed more? डेफिनेटली जिसका सरफेस एरिया ज्यादा है उधर फूड सबसे ज्यादा एब्जॉर्ब होगा, है ना। तो दिस villi will help in the absorption of the food. These are finger like projections which are present in the inner wall of the small intestine. Fine. So each villi transport the nutrients to the capillaries, the blood capillaries, as well as the lymphatic vessels, which are known as lacteals, which are also present close to this small intestine, close to this villi. Fine. So this absorption will take place by the digested, already digested food particles will be absorbed, and finally it will move on to the mm, blood vessels, and the blood vessels, the blood capillaries will carry it to all the different parts of our body, where what will happen, definitely it will be going to all the different parts of the body and absorbed and assimilation will take place. Fine. Now these are the intestinal villi. Can you see? These are the finger-like projections. These are the villi. The epithelial cells are there. Lacteals, okay, and the blood capillaries are there. And these lacteals and blood capillaries will absorb the digested food particles. Okay, the simpler form of the food particles. If you see the inner wall cells under microscope, you will see the cells looks like this. Whatever is present, the different cellular organelles are present within the cell, and at the top of the cell there are the finger like projections which are known as the microvilli. Okay, clear and up to this much? Yes, I guess you have already seen this type of cell before, right? Okay, now let us see one video about this digestion.
Digestive system. Digestion is the process by which the body breaks down food into simple substances. Digestive system is the organ system responsible for digestion. An adult human has 32 teeth, 16 in each jaw. The tongue helps us distinguish different kinds of taste. It also helps to move the food around in the mouth. When chewing food, saliva mixes with the food to aid in the digestion of carbohydrates. Food is swallowed into the esophagus, from where it passes on to the stomach. The food is churned and a part of it is digested in the stomach. Glands like the liver, gallbladder and the pancreas pour digestive juices that mix with the food and break it down to simple substances that can be absorbed. As the food passes through the small intestine, the digested food gets absorbed by the villi lining its internal wall. Undigested matter and extra water moves on to the large intestine. In the large intestine, water is absorbed from the undigested matter, converting it into an almost solid form that is excreted by a process called defecation.
Okay, so you have got an idea how digestion takes place, right? So the digestive system happens within our body. Yes. Okay. Now we, as I have already mentioned you about the small intestine, and the inner wall of the small intestine is having the different villi. So these are the finger-like projections which are increasing the surface area, and more the surface area, more will be the absorption process will take place. So this absorption is the next step of the nutrition. This process takes place which help in the taking of the digested food, right? So whatever food is already digested, it will move on to the blood capillaries and it will be supplied to all the different organs of the body, and these organs will help in assimilating the food and make the different parts of the body. Fine. So it will move on through the digested products are transported into the blood and lymph, always remember, through the mucous membrane. Clear, Hannah? Yes. Okay, let us now see how the digestion and absorption of food will take place in our body.
Can you believe your digestive system is as long as a bus? Yep, it's about 9 meters long, all wrapped up inside your body. A lot of things go on in your digestive system, not just digestion. What else do you think happens? Digestion goes hand in hand with absorption, which happens in your small intestine, which is what we're going to look at in this video. Digestion is the breakdown of food from large insoluble molecules into small molecules which can be used by your body. Digestion involves many organs before it reaches the small intestine. For more information on the roles of these organs in the digestive system, watch this video. Enzymes and other chemicals such as bile break down food. For more on the role of enzymes and bile in digestion, watch these videos. As they move through the digestive system, carbohydrates are broken down into sugars, proteins are broken down into amino acids, and fats are broken down into fatty acids and glycerol. But the job of the digestive system doesn't stop at digestion. For our body to make use of these small, soluble molecules, we need to absorb them into our bloodstream. This happens in the small intestine. The small intestine is made up of lots of tiny, finger-like projections called villi. The villi increase the surface area of the small intestine. The larger the surface area, the more absorption that can take place. Each villus has a tiny blood vessel called a capillary, and another vessel called a lacteal. The food molecules pass from the villi of the small intestine into either the blood capillary or the lacteal. Once absorbed into the blood vessel in the small intestine, the digestive food molecules can then be transported around the body to where they are needed. So why did those large molecules need to be broken down in the first place? The small intestine is kind of like a sieve. It has small holes in it. Small molecules are able to pass through those holes, whilst large molecules cannot. So carbohydrates, proteins and fats are all too large to pass through the holes in the small intestine. But sugars, amino acids, fatty acids and glycerol are all small enough to pass through. Sugars and amino acids pass through the holes into the blood capillary, while fatty acids and glycerol pass into the lacteal of the villi. These small molecules move by diffusion, moving from a high to a low concentration. For example, the small intestine has a high concentration of sugar molecules, whereas the blood supplying the small intestine has a low concentration of sugar. So the sugar moves down its concentration gradient from a high concentration in the small intestine, through the holes in the villi, into the blood capillary, where it's in low concentration. Sugar, amino acids, fatty acids and glycerol all use diffusion to move into the blood within the small intestine. So after digestion breaks down large molecules into small molecules, absorption of the small molecules happens inside our small intestine by diffusion into the blood vessels. What an amazing system!
If you like the video,
Okay, so this is all about how the digestion will take place within our body, how it takes place within our body, and absorption will be taking place with the small intestine. I hope that all of you have already understood the concept. Yes. Now in the next session, we will continue with the absorption, how basically the absorption will take place with the different processes like diffusion, active transport and all. We will study all those things in the next session, and definitely we will study about the different tests of carbohydrate, protein and fat. How will you be able to understand whether the food is having any carbohydrate, protein or fat? We will all move on, we will all discuss this in the next session. Fine. So thanks for being with me, and today the student of the session is who has given me most of the answers and asked me most of the doubt is Amit Kumar. Okay, so clap for Amit, and thanks for being with us. And everyone, thanks to all of you for being with us. We will again meet in the next session. So do not forget to subscribe our channel. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming sessions. Fine. Okay, then. Bye bye. Take care. Stay safe and stay healthy. We will again meet on the next